My Hebrew brothers and sisters, welcome back to the tribe of Israel, scattered all over the globe. This is your Moray, Yeshua ben Uriah Israel. Again, let me continue to thank you for your subscriptions. And without your subscription, we would be far, far back behind. So your subscriptions have helped us. It's so much. It helps us so much, and we thank you. We're going to ask you to continue to like and to subscribe to these sessions, and ask your family members, your friends, and loved ones if they would also like and subscribe. And you probably want to reach me or to talk to me or to send me a message, and you don't want to send it over the air. You can email me. My email address is Dr. Josh 4319 @gmail.com. Again, my email address is drjosh 4319 @gmail.com. If you are planning to support this cause that we're doing here, and you want to send us an offering, you can send it through the Cash App, and my email goes directly. You can use my email address to do that. Okay? I also have a PayPal account, and so we'll go into that a little more later on. Okay? So the last time we talked about hold fast deceit, and we say that the word comes from a Hebrew word kazak, spelled Chazaq, and we say that there were three letters that make up this word: Chaf, Zain, and Kuf, meaning to fasten, meaning to size, to be strong, to strengthen, also to support or to harden. And we talk about how the people were holding fast to their deceit. There are 12 times in the book of Exodus this verb is used to describe the conditions of Pharaoh's heart when he reacted negatively against Yahuwah's decree. Remember, he sent Moshe down to warn him, to ask him, to tell him to let the people go, and he refused to do that. He refused to do that, hardened his heart. You compare this to Acts chapter 4, verses 25 through 28. And he talks about, even though the people hold fast to deceit, Yah still is in control. It doesn't matter how hard they hold. It doesn't matter how much they rebel. YAHUAH is still in control. I want us to look at a couple of verses, because I want us to understanding that the Hebrew Israelites were stubborn. They were stubborn. Not only that they were stubborn, they were impudent and unyielding. Of all of the benefits, of all of the graces that YAHUAH showed them, they were not content. In Ezekiel chapter 2, verses 3 to 5, and also chapter 3, verses 7 and 8. YAHUAH selected Ezekiel to go to the house of Israel, and he referred to them as a rebellious nation that have transgressed against Yah. They are impudent, he said. They are impudent children, and they are stiff-hearted. Impudent, and they are stiff-hearted. There's another verse we see there in verse 5, and the word refuse. These are simple words, and you can go to any dictionary and whatever you can find, but he's not going to give you the biblical meaning. He'll give you the, the regular meaning, the Webster type of meaning. But listen to the word refuse. It comes from another Hebrew word, ma'en. Ma'en. And it is pronounced ma'en. Ma'en. Mem, Yod, Aleph, and Vav. These four letters make up this word. And it means to refuse utterly unwilling. To refuse to do what YAHUAH said. Utterly unwilling to do what YAHUAH said. My brothers and my sisters, this is a reason why we are in this predicament, refusing to do what YAHUAH said. Exodus 4:23, Exodus 7:14, and also Exodus chapter 10 verse 3. Pharaoh refused to obey the command of YAHUAH. So the people do the same thing. His own people, YAHUAH, the people whom he has called for his very own. He said no other nation he had done that to. No other people. No other people got that benefit. Psalm 78:10, Jeremiah 3 verse 3, and also chapter 8 verse 5, and Hosea 11:5. And later the house of Israel also refused to repent. Here's the people, he brought them out of the land. All the trouble, all the problems in the wilderness. 40 years. They could have made the journey in less than 2 years. A whole generation have to die. Because YAHUAH decided he was not going to take them into the land with that kind of attitude. So a whole generation passed. Listen what he said here. In Jeremiah 5, verse 3, Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 6, Jeremiah 11, verse 10, Zechariah 7:11. These are verses, my brothers and sisters, I want to write them down so you can go back and look at them and study them, read them, consider them, meditate upon them. They will do you good. They will do me good. They refuse to take instruction. These verses I just read to you, I gave you here, these are verses that deals with them refusing to take instruction. Another word in verse 9, that's Jeremiah 8 verse 9, another word is ashamed. Ashamed. We know what ashamed is, when a person is ashamed. we know what can happen. But it comes from the Hebrew word bush, B-U-W-S-H, bush. The spell in English. And the word comes from three letters of the Hebrew. Beth, Vav, and Shin. Meaning to pale, to blush when failure of sin occurs, to be ashamed. It means to feel ashamed, to be disappointed, to be confounded. This is what happened to them when they refused to do what YAHUAH said. They were ashamed. Ezra 9:6 deals with Ezra's prayer, showing his shame and blush for the transgression of the house of Israel in marrying and mingling with pagans. My brothers and my sisters, we have to wake up and realize that if we're going to inherit and do the thing, get the blessings from YAHUAH, we're not going to follow in the footstep of our ancestors. Isaiah 129 deals with Yah's judgment on Zion, the sinful city, how they have turned, he said, to unrighteous practices. His judgment upon them, because they have turned. They're ashamed. Isaiah 35 and Jeremiah 2:36 deals with the warning of YAHUAH not to trust in the counsel of Egypt, because at the end they will be ashamed and be confounded. Only Yah is able to help them. Remember, when Yah want to judge them, they want to run down to Egypt because they think going to Egypt they were not going to be taken by the Assyrian and the Babylonians. They were not going to be taken. In their mind, that's what they said. So they were going down there. Amos 1 is about going down to Egypt, trusting in horses and chariots. We have to trust. They have to trust in YAHUAH, not in horses and chariots. Consume is another word. Comes from the Hebrew word suf. And the word is suf. Comes from another three letters made up. This word is kamek nun kuf, meaning to snatch away, to terminate, to consume, to have an end, perish, to cease, to vanish, to bring to an end. This word is used by YAHUAH's of YAHUAH's judgment, and we see Psalm 73:19, and Jeremiah 8:13, and Amos 3:15 as dealing with the fate of the wicked, and Isaiah 66:17 speaks of the fact that those that defile themselves with abominable swine flesh and mouth, that the people, they have gone so far away from YAHUAH that they were dealing and defiling themselves with abominable things. This comes to the end of our word studies. And let me say this, my brothers and my sisters. We're going to ask you to continue to subscribe to this channel. Continue to like and subscribe. Send your comments. We thank you for all the comments. And we want to let you know we love you and we're praying for you. And so this is your Murray Yeshua ben Uriah Israel. We ask you to walk with the King. Be blessed. Shalom.